Capitol building, if anyone's from Texas, might be familiar. And then last but not least, now that we've met our goddess and our princess, we just have Chicago's Queen, the tallest building in town, 2 white antenna on top. That is Sears Tower, or is it Willis Tower, or is it Swillis Tower, as some tour guides say? Who knows what to call it anymore? I'll tell you the story of the names after we pass under the bridge. With the reflection of the clouds. This started off as Sears Tower. It was completed in 1973, financed by the Sears Company. Later, though, they fell on hard times and moved out of the building that they had financed. This was in the 90s. It cleared the way for Willis Group Holdings to get some space inside. They rented some offices and also rented the name of a skyscraper. Perhaps you didn't know, but it's true. You can rent the name of a building. Really, it's all about money. This structure here, it has setbacks going down the side, kind of different from our typical black box building we've been seeing, where it's one big chunk, one big rectangle going up into the sky. This building actually has 9 tubes or columns that are arranged in a 3x3 grid. This is an anti-sway technique invented for Sears Tower back in the 70s. We call it bundled columns or bundled tubes again. And it allows the building to withstand worst case scenario winds of up to 200 miles per hour. So that building is really nice and stable, even on the windy days we've been having recently. I have heard that the water can like slosh out of the toilet bowls on the top floors in a storm. I don't like that at all. But apparently the building is still very safe and stable despite that fact. Every building needs a little bit of give. You don't want a skyscraper to be brittle, right? And part of why we needed the anti-sway technique is because this building is so tall. It used to be the tallest in the world. Sears Tower stands at 1,451 feet tall, or 442 meters. It's got 110 stories, and you might have already spotted up there on the 103rd floor, we have an observation deck. It's those 5 glass window boxes, tiny people moving around inside. We call it the sky deck. Has anyone already been up there to the top of the building? Yeah, it's really cool. You get to step out onto a glass box, look down through the floor, and see the street thousands of feet below you. I hate it. I am very afraid of heights, but perhaps you are braver than me, in which case I'm sure you got some great photos. You can see 4 states from the top of Sears Tower. Lovely view. And by the way, we do have a water taxi stop just over here to our right. So if you want to end up visiting Sears Tower a little bit later, you can hop on our taxi at Navy Pier or Michigan Avenue. They'll drop you off right here for 12 bucks. That's actually the price for an all-day pass, so you can go a few other places as well. So if you've been to the top of Sears Tower, you know by now that it's not the tallest building in the world anymore. It's not even the tallest in the country. That would be the One World Trade Center over in New York City, which stands at a very patriotic 1,776 feet tall. Yes, they designed it that way on purpose. Some Chicagoans, though, object to this claim and believe we should still be number 1. And it's all because the roof of Sears Tower is still taller than the roof of the One World Trade Center. So why are we number 3? Makes no sense, obviously unfair. I'm glad you agree with me. It's all the fault of the Council on Tall Buildings. These are fancy people that sit around deciding how tall skyscrapers can be, and they say that antenna, like the 2 that we have at the top of Sears Tower, do not count because they are not permanent structures. Other buildings that have a spire, like the One World Trade Center, they do count for your height, despite the fact that it does nothing. It's just decorative, but it does count. That's how the One World Trade Center got the number 1 spot, which you might even call cheating. But who am I to say? I'll get off my soapbox. I can't linger on this too long or I'll get too heated. But anyway, even though we don't have the tallest building anymore, the construction of Sears Tower still makes super tall buildings possible to this day because of that anti-sway technique. The Burj Khalifa also uses bundled columns or bundled tubes, and also, again, it was designed by a Chicago-based architect. So even though we're not the tallest in the world anymore, we're not really in the height game as of right now, we are still relevant, I would say. on a global stage architecturally.